Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, well, happy Thursday, everybody. Here we go, getting oh so close now to the weekend. Of course, we are going to take an in-depth look at that weekend forecast over the next few minutes. But the other thing we're going to look at, when is our next opportunity of rain in North Texas? As we know, we've been in such a dry stretch. And is there any fall-like weather, meaning cooler temperatures on down the road? We're going to try and answer that question over the next few minutes as well. But at least as we go through today, Thursday, pretty much steady as she goes from the rest of your work week. It's going to feature a lot of bright sunshine, but maybe today a degree or two hotter. In fact, I'm going to take our daytime high up to right around 93 this afternoon. This is where we started the morning. These were your actual observed lows, and we know the humidity has been so low this week, right? The air mass overall has been relatively dry. Dry air cools easy, so our overnight lows have been relatively comfortable this week, right? Settling well into the 60s. That happened again this morning. Again, essentially all of us down into the 60s, but take a look at Greenville up in Hunt County, even Bonham down to 59 degrees. Cool this morning locally here in the Metroplex. Again, most of us in the 60s. The only exception, Addison Airport, those folks only down to 72 again at sunrise this morning. So take a look at this here. We've actually got a couple showers up across parts of Oklahoma. So in the region, we actually have some activity this morning. You can see that red L area of low pressure moving through Oklahoma. So again, if you see radar, you may begin to wonder, could some of that activity at least begin to approach our Red River counties? And the simple answer to that is no, that activity is not going to make it into North Texas. Again, simply put, our air mass is just too dry to support any of that. And really looking around the nation, again, it's not just North Texas, it's not just the Southern Plains. It continues to be a very quiet week of weather across a good part of the country. The only real exception to that continues to be down in Florida. Very weak tropical wave we're now keeping our eye on. But again, there is some rain down there. And then still over my shoulder, this upper level storm system that continues to approach the west coast of the United States will eventually today and tomorrow be making landfall. You can see the counterclockwise spin that will eventually be ejecting out into the Great Plains. And as we get into early next week, that storm could potentially begin to impact our weather. Take a look at this here. Again, you can see the upper level storm trough being carved out in the jet stream flow, but the newest data this morning continues to suggest that it just stays a little too far to the north, even though there will be a weak frontal boundary with that. I think it basically gets stalled up in Oklahoma. We continue to watch next Monday and Tuesday the potential for a little tropical moisture to come up out of the Gulf of Mexico, maybe some cloud cover Monday, Tuesday. I think that's about a 10% probability. But then as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, a little bit of new data this morning suggests a new ripple comes through with another front, a weak front, and again next Wednesday and Thursday, somewhere in that time frame, could even be a few showers and thunderstorms around, and our temperatures with that frontal boundary may click down by a few degrees. So we'll track that carefully, and I'll show you that on the 12-day coming up. Otherwise, again, here are your rainfall projections over the next 7 days. Right now, the data not getting too excited about much in the way of rainfall activity. But as we go through the day today, watch to the east of North Texas. There will be some showers developing across parts of Louisiana. And then as we go through tomorrow, there may even be a few showers. Look at that down in central Texas, south of North Texas. So again, at least there is some activity beginning to kind of emerge around the region. But again, simply put, none of that in North Texas. But here's the key piece of our forecast, the good part of our forecast, if you will. Again, you can see all the humidity continues to remain bottled up down along the Gulf Coast. So again, even though we're going to be warm to hot, it's not going to be overly humid. It's not going to be overly oppressive. So again, we'll just keep things rather, again, fairly comfortable. There's that humidity chart. Again, you can see over the next 5 days, all of us remaining there in that comfortable category. So mid-90s generally today. We'll just call it a hot afternoon. We continue with that air quality alert in effect for today. But again, air quality remains moderate even heading into the weekend. This would be your evening. Temperatures from the 80s, fair skies, light winds, warm, but again, a comfortable evening. And then overnight tonight, all of us essentially settling back down into the 60s, could be a few lower 70s here in the Metroplex. More mid-90s even as we close out our work week. That would be tomorrow, Friday. So again, talking about those mid to low 90s as we begin to head into the weekend. Saturday maybe a touch milder, right around 89. And there are those low-end rain chances by middle parts of next week.